rotation spring off. Rotation spring is locked.
This is the book of Habakkuk.
Hold on. I turn it sideways. Turn the whole thing sideways. This whole thing sideways and turn it back.
I'll check the audio.
Is it not recording something?
Go. You see? Go back down into the thing.
Yeah,
Would you put it on half? Or you turn it horizontal?
Yeah.
All right. We'll just turn it sideways there. Go like that. Bear with us. Technical difficulties. Read that.
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, a prayer of Habakkuk, the prophet, upon
This is Habakkuk chapter 3 and verse 1. It says this prayer in the NLT says this prayer was sung by the prophet Habakkuk.
Shalom, shalom, YAHAWASHI.
Shalom.
I have heard all about you, Lord. I am filled with awe by your amazing works. In this time of our deep need, help us again as you did in years gone by and in your anger.
Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3.
Oh, God. It's like this is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, this vision is for a future time. It describes the end, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed.
All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
Call halal.
Yahawah,
YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Is giving our praise to the Most High. In the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to our teachers, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us His truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful lake scattered abroad. Shalom to the 144,000. We the brothers from the province of Babylon camp. My name is Ibar. Next to me,
Brother number one.
Brother Pop.
and we're gonna go into this lesson concerning these Sam's Clubs. It says Sam's Club is going Black Mirror, and if you haven't seen the show Black Mirror, I went into it recently. You know, very edifying show. It's all about the MOTB technology and all the things that they can do with it. But it says remodeling 600 stores to embrace AI and eliminate cashiers. Okay, so their whole thing is they're moving towards this digital beast system. All right, and I actually have a Sam's Club membership. You know, I go there to get like bulk things.
God, same.
You know, and now they're saying how you don't have to go to the registers. They're getting rid of the registers, and that's a new thing in these stores. They're gonna get rid of all them registers, and you're gonna be able to just walk out. You know, walk in and out, and to scan on your app. Which eventually, all this will be put inside your MOTB, okay, which is a micro C-hip, okay, chip that they want to put in everybody's body, okay. And the Lord is definitely moving this thing along. It says Kanye, I experienced that here as well. I can just walk out by using the app. Wow. So they already have it then. Hey, that's spiritual. Hey, the water, that's the brother Malakia from the GMS Tampa camp. Shalom, brother Yahawashi. And that just mean that we almost out of here, man. Okay, they gonna move this thing fast. Thing is gonna speed up quick. Now you got IUIC talking about digital currencies and stuff. It's all ironic now that as we seeing these things take place in the earth and speed up. Now these guys want to talk about digital currencies and the tariffs and stuff. So, hey, we know who the true men of the Lord are. Okay, who the true prophets are. They're gonna be teaching the truth. Not just change it. Whenever they, one of the brothers said it. You can't tell us that it's raining as it's raining.
Right.
Yeah. That's not what a prophet does. You got to say it beforehand, and through the Spirit. Starting with our elders and apostles, Great Millstone on down, they've been ringing this bell, you know, ding,
Sounding
ding, ding,
alarm.
ding, 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 sounding this alarm, you know, for decades now. And now we're seeing it playing out. It's going to play out fast in these last time. Everything is going AI. All right. You got this guy, Donald Trump and Elon. They're making everything AI. They're getting rid of all these certain, you know, programs with the government. Another thing I heard too, which we'll go into a little more later. One of my coworkers was telling me how they're going to put AI cameras in all these stores, which is pretty much going to get rid of management. You know, because with an AI camera, he was explaining it. He said he's trying to get into it. He said with an AI camera, it can count. Say you got a coffee shop, right? It can count exactly how many cups of coffee are sold in that coffee shop. It can count everything. It can count, you know. It's all digital. So now you don't need somebody to sit there and watch the cameras. If somebody's stealing, it's gonna get AI gonna pick it up. You know, and that's the same thing they're doing with these Sam's Clubs, where when you walk out or in, they want to, you know, pretty much put all that, you know, digital, you know,
Right.
which is going to get rid of a lot of jobs as well. You know, I mean, let the grinding shall cease. All right, but we're gonna play this video and let him speak for a little bit and grab precepts as we go. You know, Lord, when it's edifying to the full elect.
Right, and if I may add too, you know, Sam's Club being a major company, man, you know what I'm saying, pretty much in the grocery business like that, you know, they got warehouses all around, and you know, they ain't the first, okay, to have this type of technology in they, you know, being upgraded on their systems, because when you look around the world, you see all these systems nowadays requiring some type of you know, tap pay or digital pay, you know. So, you know, they being the first to, you know, put this in, you know, into their system is.
Well, you got Amazon as well.
Yeah,
You know,
Amazon. Or you
Amazon
got the
Go.
Palm.
Yeah,
with
the Palm
Whole
Read.
Food.
Yeah, exactly. Whole
know.
Foods. Yeah, so these are what all these major stores are doing, and these other stores, they're going to be out of business.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
these mom and pop shops, these, you know, these bodegas, they're going to be out of business. You know, unless they convert to that system as well.
Which shows you the gradualism of, you know, the way of this world system gravitating towards the MOTB.
Let me play this video real quick though. We'll grab some precepts. He gonna grab the main precept right off the bat, which shows you that, which I believe this guy, you know, this guy is his page is
IHG Hotels and Resorts.
Salakia. His page is let's see. Okay, so his page.
So
His page is ones that can see. And if you remember this individual from back in the day, his page was originally a call for an uprising. He had many pages, but one of the first ones was called a call for an uprising. But they keep taking his pages down because he speaks the truth. And this individual here could very well be a Jake. You know, he got the spirit of a Jake. You know, he's a little lost, but at the same time, he's hip on a lot of stuff. You know, so we'll just play this and go from there.
We've got ones that can see. Welcome everybody to today's show. Every single
And even the name of of his channel is spiritual. Ones that can see. So the scriptures talk about that. The Lord said, your eyes, it was for your eyes, for you can see. Roughly paraphrasing. So there's only a few people that can see. The elect are the ones that can see. Everybody else is blind. You know, IUIC is spiritually blind. And that's why they can't get it. That's why they're mixing the doctrine up. They all confused. They changing doctrine, you know, here and there, on a little bit everywhere. It's all through the spirit. Okay?
That's right.
What's going on with that?
Oh, no, this is live.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and play this.
time we hear a story like this, it needs to be covered. Because every time a big chain, whether it's Sam's Club or in the future Walmart, Target, these big stores, every time we see them inch away from cash and force you into using digital payments only, we know that we're getting closer and closer to the finish line. Because remember, as the Bible tells us in the book of Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 through 18, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So
Yeah, he breaks it down right. Okay, they want to put this technology inside your body. It's not going to just be an app on your phone for much longer. Right. They want to put this inside you. Okay, And they're going to say it, how phones are going to be obsolete. And they've been saying that. Phones going to be obsolete. Cash is going to be obsolete. If you have eyes to see, like the guy's channel, you're going to be able to see where this is going. It's obvious. It's plain as day. And those that are spiritual are going to be able to peep through and see what this man is really doing, okay? Scripture says the prudent man looketh well to his goings, but the simple pass on and are punished. So these people that's simple, they're going to end up taking this, man, because they want to continue to shop. They want to continue to, to buy and sell.
I got a precept on that.
Go ahead.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Right, we're not ignorant of this man's devices. Grab that in NLT too, because this is a part of his evil schemes. He's very. And I was watching the video with the by the elder Yahawah just before we started. I was on my walk and I was watching that video, and he was going into it about Amalek, and he was asking AI what would it be, what would the world be like if Amalek was in power, and he was saying how Amalek wouldn't just try to control physically, but mentally. He want to be in your mind. He want to be in your thoughts. This man is a control freak. He's the devil the Bible speaks of. So with these devils, what they're really doing is they're trying to bring out this scheme, this evil plot, this evil plan to control the people. But those of us that are not ignorant, we see what he's doing. And that's why and even like he said in the beginning of the video, when you see stuff like this, we have to report on it. It ain't a thing of, oh, well, no. You got to bring it out. We're gonna constantly keep bringing this out as it get closer to that time, because these are the warnings from Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI.
Yeah, we're gonna blow the trumpet on it. Give you a warning, give Israel a warning, man. That's what we were commanded to do.
That's
All
right.
But you see it, how they're trying to use AI, but their plan is to bring in the AI system and make everything seem a lot less harder.
Make
to
it
be able to
easy.
go in, make your transactions
More convenient.
Yeah.
more convenient, more efficient, and that's going to, beguile the ones that are simple. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of Jake are gonna go into it and oh look, I got the new sea hip.
It's like the
Come on.
fast food.
Yeah.
It make it more convenient, but that shit is deadly.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's killing you. They got signs on the window saying how this food causes cancer.
Yeah.
Hey,
But it's more convenient. You can get it faster. You can, pull up, pull out. You got your food. You eat. You done. Versus back in the day, people actually have to prepare a meal.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wait,
Hey,
but-
these devils are gonna advertise it like the new iPhone.
if I may add too, brother said something beautiful, because he said with the fast food, people pull up now. They have it with AI answering you when you pull up to the drive-thru.
Beautiful point.
You know?
Beautiful point. That shows you that this is all coming true.
Yeah.
Cause and that's a job.
Yeah.
That was somebody's job.
Yeah.
You pull up to a drive-through now, and they got AI talking to you at the drive-through, and the AI still mess your order up.
Just like when you are, making a order, or you calling in for like, you got a clinic appointment or something like that. They always have it where, or even with a job, they always have it where AI is texting you or talking to you.
Well, now
or
they got it
replying to
too,
you.
where you know how you get those scam likely calls.
Yeah.
You answer the phone, and it's AI.
Yeah.
All these commercials on YouTube and stuff, it's AI talking.
Everything's turning towards AI.
Yeah. So that's Esau, using his his technology to for his beast system.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
This is an NOT. It's 2 Corinthians 2 and verse 11. It says, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes.
Yeah.
So we're familiar with this devil evil schemes, man. We see through it, man. All right. What's the scripture? The simple pass on, but the righteous, prudent man foreseeth the evil.
Yeah.
All right. So we foresee the evil and the wicked schemes this devil's trying to fulfill, man.
Exactly. And his schemes, man, are just as you see today. He has plots and twists and turns, okay, to his way of deceiving the people, man. Okay, for you to be able to know how things were once done, then that to be changed to a way of a digital system, that's a part of his schemes, man.
That's right.
He don't just set these things up for nothing. He sets it up according to benefit on his behalf, man.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, the brother Malachi put they getting the people conditioned by the way of gradualism. And
Yeah, that's right.
Somebody grabbed that
Gradualism.
in the definition or the end of my line. Because that's what he does. He moves piece by. He ain't just gonna throw it all on you like that. He gonna do it piece by piece and get so that the people that are simple, and that's what the whole thing with the C9 thing, with the whole pandemic, you know, that was gradualism. That was them getting ready for what they're about to do next. But they had to prime you. They had to condition you. They had to prep you for that, man. You know, like if you go to make a meal, you got to prep, you know, for the meal. Well, that's this devil. Scriptures say that how somebody got that too as well, Baba Kashar. One of y'all can put on the comment board about how when he goes to eat to fill his belly, you know, because it's to them it's like preparing a meal. They're getting ready to feast upon these people, you know. I'll play some more.
If you don't understand what we're headed towards, the mark of the beast has to do with only being able to buy and sell online. And eventually, when the phone goes inside of your body, which is the next step, you'll see the payments going from your hand to your forehead, because the neural link, the brain-computer interface, will be embedded in your skull via devices like the Neuralink. So watch how this transition happens. I want to thank Curtis over on the website for sharing this with me, and I want to thank everybody who is over on the website who is aware of these things, sharing this information with me, because Sam's Club is not a place that I regularly shop. I don't shop at too many places personally, but I don't have a Sam's Club near me. I'm familiar with Sam's Club, and every time you hear these things, we need to share this information, right?
You hear that? Every time you hear these things, we need to share this information. This stuff has to come out. You know, you can't just sit on this and act like, oh, well, it's just another. No, and that's why anytime something like this comes out, we're going to report on it. We're going to speak on it, because through the Spirit, that could be warning one of the elect. You might have one person that watch your video, two people that watch your video, and one of them may very well be the elect. And they needed to hear that. They needed to get that warning, you know. But Sam's Club is partnered with like Walmart. And you know what Walmart, martial law. When you play with the words, it's martial law. All right, so these Sam's Club, they're all a part of that, you know, that whole, you know, system with Walmart, where they want to bring in these, they're going to be used as FEMA camps, okay, detention centers, all of that. Yeah. Okay.
You got all these major, you know, Walmarts and, like the brother said, Sam's Clubs and Costco's, warehouse-like facilities for a reason, man, because that's the first places they're going to turn to when all hell breaks loose, and the military gonna come in 30 minutes to swipe everything out, man. They're gonna use that to their advantage. So they all in cahoots with each other.
Hey,
right.
You know, nowadays when you go to any grocery store, you only see like, you know, 2 people on the cash register, or, you know, none. And, you know, everyone's, you know, cashing themselves out, you know, making their own transaction at the AI system they have there. And that's because, you know, like the brother said, using gradualism. You know, they bringing it in, making it more easy, more efficient, making it, you know, a lot quicker, and people are going to, you know, gravitate to that a lot, you know, without even realizing it, man. Next thing you know, all right, it's coming from, you know, Apple Pay until you put your hand on the register, and it's going to be looked at as normal.
It's going to be normalized.
Yeah, it's going to be normalized.
People are going to, you know, do this without even thinking about it. Just like where they transform the things the way how payment is today. People once giving cash, well, still is, but it's likely people will rather pay with digital than it is to give cash.
Well, it's more convenient.
It's convenient.
So you got to go in your wallet or your pocketbook and
count the money.
Yeah, shuffle through dollars and cards and stuff. No,
you just tap in a digital.
You just put your phone up.
Yeah.
Nobody even.
Hey, sometimes I do it myself. I admit I do it myself. I'm about to go grab my wallet, then or I could just put my phone in there. My phone are usually already in my hand.
Yeah. Right.
Or, you know, sometimes you may leave your wallet at home, so you got your phone on you.
You don't need your wallet anymore.
Exactly.
And
so they're gonna take it a step further, and they're gonna put that technology inside your hand.
And that's part of that gradualism, condition everyone to look at something like that as like more convenient, as the brother's saying. He's like, oh well, shit, it's only an upgrade at this point. People are looking at it just like an upgrade, like with the iPhones, man. You know, it'd be the same shit, but it's just a slightly adjustment.
Yeah, when you go into this word for gradualism, it's the definition. It says a policy of gradual reform rather than sudden change or revolution. And that's why they got to do it gradually, because if they just suddenly change things, people will freak out. You know, people will will buck up against it. But if you just do it slowly, you know, it's like that whole thing about the frog in the pot. If you put the frog in the pot and you turn and the pot and the water's already boiling hot, the frog's gonna jump out. But if you put the frog in the hot and you slowly increase the heat, you know, every so often, the frog is going to sit in that water before you know it. The frog is cooked. Now I'm not saying you should be eating no frogs, but that's just the way the slogan goes or whatever. Yeah, the example. But it says, biology, the hypothesis that evolution proceeds chiefly by the accumulation of gradual changes.
Oh, it is.
In contrast to the punctualist model. So chiefly these things are changing gradually. Okay, it's not just overnight, It's all over a period of time. And that right there is all through the spirit. You know what's crazy too, when the whole Demic thing happened, they was moving gradually, but then they moved kind of fast real quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know certain times it's gonna jump and then it's gonna slow down. They just calm you back down. They're gonna jump real fast again. Cause you remember how with the pandemic, they did a lockdown when you was in the house and you came back outside and you seen all these signs all over the place, 6 feet.
Yeah.
All these these
Light poles.
Yeah, the new towers, but
The LED lights and the 5G towers.
even when you went into a building, it was like they immediately had all these stickers on the ground.
Yeah.
All
signs.
these signs, all throughout the 6 feet distancing, all that stuff. And it's like, damn, did they already have this stuff in the back somewhere?
Overnight.
What's crazy is people got with the program really quick.
Oh yeah.
Overnight.
And there was really no bucking up against it at all. Like the face mask and all these different things that they brought into the society. A lot of people got really comfortable with it really quick. And now it became to a point where if you wasn't wearing a face mask, now you was looking at crazy. You looked at crazy. If you wasn't social distancing,
It became. They kept saying that too.
Yeah.
It became the new norm.
Exactly, and that's the same thing with that sea hut, bro. These devils are, they're serpents, man. They know how to beguile and deceive, and and use their words to get the mass. All right.
And a lot of our people, you so-called Negroes, you gonna say, "Oh, I ain't taking that. I ain't taking that." Wait till they cut his food off, man. Jake love to eat. If anything about Jake love to eat, man. Wait till they cut his food off. Wait till they cut off them food stamps, your government assistance. Jake gonna be the first ones in line, fighting in the line to go get an MOTB.
Bro, they did that with the Jabberwocky, bro. Once they said, you can't work at your job anymore. I was talking to Jake a long time ago, and it was around that time. He was just telling me, he was like, "Yeah, bro." I was like, "Did you get it?" I said, "Yeah, I had to, bro. I had to for my job."
And they was just talking.
Yeah. And I was like, so you really, got that put inside you because to keep your job. So imagine when the C-HIP is being brought out and it's being made mandatory, then it's like, oh, I gotta get it, to be able to continue to work and provide for my family.
Hey, and if I may add, this shows you the state of the state of the mindset of these people. Because if you were willing to go take a risk on getting something put in you or injected in you and not know what it is, how much more for
these people are silly, man. That's silly. You let them shoot you in your body with something, and you don't even know what's in it. They told you it was an experiment.
Hey, and that's the spirit. Because I did a lesson this week on going into it, and this lady, she had I think it was 3 boosters from that, and they poured out of her because she wanted.
Oh yeah, I seen that. It was a 2 foot long blood clot.
Pulled out of her vein, man. And they were actually able to pull on the blood cells that was congested together, man.
And they recently came out with some information. They said the people who took that, you pretty much can't donate blood anymore. They saying they don't want your blood anymore. So what is that telling you?
You just a walking corpse at this
You're a
point.
zombie.
Yeah.
And not to mention they got a patent on that thing. So really your
your
DNA is being altered.
Can't do nothing about it.
And now here we are coming on 5 years, which they said that 5-year mark, a lot of people may drastically start dropping dead. So that all pans into this right here, where people gonna be nervous. They're gonna come out with a new demic, and it's gonna be people dying from taking the yab from the old demic. So they just got you in a constant loop, and what they gonna do is they gonna do it with no lube.
I appreciate it.
What's that saying? They're not gonna let a good crisis go to waste.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me play some more of this real quick.
Is going Black Mirror, remodeling 600 stores to embrace AI and eliminate cashiers. They are eliminating cashiers, and they're using artificial intelligence so that you can walk up to a product in the store that you want, and you scan it on your phone, and then you are able to walk out of the store without going to a register, without using cash. AI will monitor and track what's in your cart through surveillance as you exit the store. And you might be saying to yourself, well, what if you don't have a phone? Well, if you don't have a phone, then you won't be able to buy or sell because you won't be able to trade freely. They won't allow you to. And the more we see them push towards this, the more they're going to set this.
You see, this is going to be the new norm. You walk into a store, they're going to have these big ass, doorways where you walk in and they scanning you. That's going to be they're getting everybody prepared for this new, because see, also what Trump is doing too with this whole tariffs and stuff, is he's helping collapse this society. He's helping collapse this system so they can bring in a new system. That's why they got something called a Great Reset. Mm-hmm. If you notice this week, Monday, the same day that the so-called Pope died, this guy Klaus Schwab stepped down from the World Economic Forum, and he was the main one that pushed that thing, a Great Reset. All right, we're about to witness a Great Reset. They're about to shut this shit down, and then it's gonna boot right back up, and it's gonna be completely different.
Right, and to think about it, why are all these big major people who in power stepping down? You got CEOs of major companies stepping down.
That happened too before the C9.
Yep.
A lot of the major companies the CEOs started stepping down. They was moving their assets and getting out of Dodge.
Yep. People who had their money invested into all these stocks, a lot of these people was, taking their stocks out, taking their money out, okay? A lot of businesses was going into closure, okay? Does that not sound an alarm,
Hey, and that's another thing too. I put a video up on that one this week, either this week or last week. A lot of these stores are shutting down this month. Mm-hmm. This month, thousands of major stores are shutting down. I'm talking about like whole businesses shutting down, bro. And I've seen that as I ride through the streets. I'm seeing that a store that was open last week is not open this week. These places are shutting down. You got to check now. You got to make sure before you go to a spot, because the place has probably already been shut down. All right. So what they're doing with that too is they're making it where you only have one, so many options. Yep. And it's gonna be these big box stores. And it's gonna be no more little convenience stores you can go to. None of that. It's gonna be these big box stores, and then you to go in there, you're gonna have to be able to have that MOTB.
Right. They're gonna minimize all these local stores and all these local businesses and banks to where it's so small of a number that people can go to.
Yep.
You imagine you going from 600 stores to only 30 stores. Mm-hmm. See, these devils know how to use it. Use these things to their advantage.
You know what they doing too with the smart cities.
And look how big that look how in the background. Look how big that damn Sam Claus is. Yeah, swipe that whole thing out. You don't see no windows.
Yeah, nah. And they say that they can put those aisles. They can put those aisles have wheels on them. So all they do is flip a switch on it, and the wheels turn on and it moves. You can just roll them right up out of there.
Yeah. And what do you think they'll use that for? As we was mentioning earlier. So these devils putting things in motion right before your eyes, man. Shalom, they doing this right before your eyes. And Esau's really good at putting shit right in your face while he does it,
right.
While he do it.
And it's like a magician.
Yeah.
It's with a sleight of hand. So he'll do something right in your face, and you wouldn't realize what he's doing if you don't have the eyes to see. If you don't have the eyes to see, you're gonna think, oh, it's just. No, this man is getting ready to come down on you.
Precept.
This is why they got something called smart cities as well. You had New Jersey earlier this week that was on fire. And they said it started from a firework, but we know they got the HARP, the direct energy weapon, So they starting these fires and and they happen to be right by Jersey Shore. All them nice cities by the ocean and stuff. Major cities in these particular regions in America, they're putting smart cities right there because those are the ones that's going to stay open. Those stores, how you say it was 630 stores.
Yeah.
Those are going to be the stores that's going to be open, and then you gonna have to go in there. And you all going, everybody, it's just a show. I forgot what it was called, but they got to do this guy from Captain America in it. The new Jake Captain America. I forget that guy's name. But it shows you a show like that where he just driving from smart city to smart city. And everybody else that's not in those smart cities, you're pretty much, it's like the Wild Wild West, it's everybody for it's every man for himself. But when you go into the smart city, it's like life is still going on as normal, but it's more strict, and they're all, C-hipped. I put a video up about that yesterday, going into these bunkers. It's a movie called, it's a show called Paradise, and I keep bringing it up, but it's important because they showed you in that show how when they all went into a bunker, everybody had a wristband on where they were scanning to buy and sell. They didn't have physical cash, which cash is just Anthony Mackie. Yeah, that's the guy. He got a show. Look up that show that he's in. Type in driving. It's like a show. It's a new show. There it is, Twisted Metal. It's Twisted Metal. I believe it's on like Philo or one of them those least popular platforms. And then it's kind of a cheesy show, but the point is what they're showing you. This is them telling you. See, Esau, he ain't he got to tell you what he's doing, but he gonna tell you in some TV show that you might not watch, or he'll tell you in a movie that you might skip over. Yep. So it's all the spirit, but Brandon, out. What you got?
This is Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 15 in the NLT. It says, "Only simpletons believe everything they're told. The prudent carefully consider their steps."
And the majority of them people are simple that took that MOT. That means like that. Yeah, they believe it. Whatever they was told, it's going to help you. Here to help you. It's for your own good. They believed all that because they were simple. So you think it's going to be any different when this MOTB come out?
Or you think it's going to be any different when you have where they start coming out with these miracles? You see? It's only going to be advertised just like they would with any other technology.
Scripture says that. It says he deceived them by the miracles of it.
Exactly.
So they going to come out and tell you all these different things, or it can change your whole life around.
It can make you see again. It can make you walk again.
Exactly. And a lot of people are going to fail to that, fall to that, and then they're going to, take it. Next thing you know, that all the other, things that they didn't mention, the side effects, the gruesome sores, that's going to start taking effect. And then they're going to know, like, okay, the prophets have been among us. The prophets have told us this. And warned us.
Hey, it's crazy. One sec, brother. 1 second, man. Because he mentioned it in this video. He said Sam's Club is going Black Mirror. All right, and then Black Mirror, there's a new season now. I just finished watching it the other day, and there's an episode in there where one of the guys in the show, because every episode is different. So in this particular episode, the main character, his wife got sick and she just, passed out. And they told her that they was gonna have to kill her and put her on life support unless, they kind of like, there's this new experiment thing going on. Well, basically they put a C-hip inside her head, okay? And with that C-hip, she was able to live, She went from life support, they about to pull the plug to, or she can get this implant and she can live. But with the whole implant thing, it was crazy because in that show, it was like a company they had to go through to get it, and then they was charging them for it. So you have to pay a certain amount of money to get it, but then they would come out with a higher level service, and it would cost more. But with like your iPhone, when a new phone comes out, your phone start acting up. So the C-hip that was in her head, it started tripping, started making her, say advertisements and stuff. It started making her, say stuff that she don't mean. She started going to sleep. It was making her shut down and stuff. And in order to fix that, you had to upgrade. But then when you upgrade, it came with its own set of problems. And then to fix that, you had to upgrade. And then, so it's a cycle. That's why the scripture says, never trust thine enemy, because this man, he's not to be trusted.
You got to stay updated with the AI systems.
Hey.
That's why every new phone they bring out, two phones behind, your phone is tweaking. It's starting to act up. All right, so that every time they give you that update, you got to get that update, or you going to start tweaking.
Yeah. Hey, and to add on to you, brothers, what you saying, well, that had a similar effect with the jump shot, because what do people have to do to make sure they had the...
Yeah, at first they told me it was just one.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, you got to get another one. You got to get another down the line.
You got to get
then you came with the boosters.
Yep. And that's
the devil.
That's just a foreshadow of what they really want to do when it comes to that.
And you know what they was doing? They were just trying to see how far they could go.
Practice.
Not only,
Oh, yeah.
not only what was it, complete bioweapon status,
Yeah.
okay, and is still to this day. People still gonna drop from that, but it was all a test as well to see how far they could go.
And
You
they
know?
seen how far they could go.
They said these people are complete sheep.
It's simpletons.
Yeah.
Goyim.
Hey, like the scripture says, only simpletons believe every word they're told. All right, but the wise, the prudent man, carefully, fully consider their steps. So we see these things, we understand what's going to come with it, what's going to come behind it. Even though these devils, we understand who this devil is. All right, he's going to tell you those lies. He's going to beguile you with deceptions. He's going to beguile you with the miracles. All right, and you got to be able to see that. All right, but the only man that's going to see that is the man of the Lord. You know, they're going to carefully. They're going to carefully, consider, all those things. And that's why I did a lesson earlier this week. You got to have that it is what it is spirit when it comes to this world, bro. Because these devils are going to come down with it. All right. And you got to, they're going to take your house. They're going to take, your job, all these different things that you, survive with now. And they're going to say, to be able to keep this, you got to take that C-hip. You got to be with the NWO. All right. You got to be like, man, it is what it is, bro. You can have it.
Well, that's if I can back you up, but that's why the scripture says, in Revelation 13, as you've seen God bring it out, all right, where it says they're gonna buy, sell, save, without having that C-hip, you ain't gonna be able to operate in society. You had this guy called to the swab, who just recently was supposed to be stepping down. Say what? People without having that, quote unquote, technology, I say, hey, they ain't gonna be able to operate in society amongst people because what? You're gonna be considered an outcast or an outsider.
Yeah.
You see?
Yep.
So they already have this condition set up, all right, for a certain period of time. That's why you have it where they have the 2025, what they call it? Damn, man, it slipped my mind. But the year agenda.
Oh yeah,
The
Agenda
agendas.
2025.
Yeah.
And that's what Trump is pushing right now. Trump is already bringing that out. We went through that. The Agenda 2025, and it's all leading up until what prophecy says.
Exactly.
And then you got Agenda 2030. So they're moving. And the fact that they have these agendas means that they have particular goals that they want to meet.
Quotas.
You're right. So if you don't come to, they're not meeting that goal because you in the way. That's when people are gonna start getting beheaded.
Yeah.
Get you out the way.
Hey, people who are millionaires and billionaires who know what's going on. That's why you see a lot of these CEOs, people who aren't with the system, getting snipped, man. You're like, well, then how this person get what? This person major, he just died, plane crash, or got down.
Yeah, because there was people that wasn't with it. They brought you into a meeting, they talked with you. You said, what? You guys are crazy. I'm not doing this. You stormed out. Next thing you know, your plane crashed.
Then you getting assassinated,
And they're going to put somebody else in your place. That's going, and that's the same thing that, America does when they go conquer these other countries.
Exactly.
They send a coup, They cause a bunch of civil unrest. The devil, just being a devil, just going throughout the earth causing mischief.
The wicked.
What was on that?
Come on, I was on that.
Go ahead, bro.
This is Micah 2:1. It says, woe, meaning destruction to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it.
Right. So these devils, they work iniquity, and then they plot up evil schemes upon their beds. They think of these things, in the dead of the night. I think they just got done praying to Satan. Satan to give them a thought, and they got the means, they got the money, the resources to go out there and actually put it into motion. They got the power to put things into motion, So just like how they made you wear a mask, they said, somebody, they had a wicked idea to make everybody wear a mask, and guess what? Everybody was wearing a mask. Go ahead.
I'm gonna read it into NLT as well. It says, and work evil upon their beds when the morning is light, they practice it. Because it is in the power of their hands.
It's in the power of their hands, And the Lord put this man, He got this man in power. This is His system. This is His, his whole program right now. So the Lord gonna allow him to do what he want to do, and he only gonna get so far. You got that rain upon him while he's eating, so you can fill his belly.
Yep.
God, I'm gonna get this in the NLT. It says, What sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night, thinking up evil plans?
Yeah, this is what these devils do.
Mm-hmm.
They wake up all night thinking of evil plans. They don't know what maybe they do know, but they just fulfilling their lot is to be the wicked. So they're thinking of all these evil plans. They putting it in the earth. You see this stuff going on. You had this guy, JFK Jr. He just so-called banned. He just had it where they banned, the food dyes in the food. But first of all, why the fuck was there food dyes in the food anyways?
In the first place.
They just come up, oh yeah, we're gonna ban all the food dyes, and because they found out it was bad for you, which they already knew before they put it in there. But why was it in there in the first place? Are we just gonna skip over that whole conversation? Are we just gonna, where is that investigation? Why? Who decided to put it there in the first place? Let's get them out of here.
Right.
People was dying from that stuff, but now they probably just gonna rename it. Put it back in there.
Exactly. What the scriptures say with that? If he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but what? Then he would declare. Then he would.
And
declare
he would declare his wickedness.
So, in reality, they still have a wicked intention.
Mm-hmm.
You see, they just try to refresh this wicked intention, but in a new fashionable way. And Esau, he knows for his clever and crafty schemes. Okay, but it says. Reading on, it says, you rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out, simply because you have the power to do so.
Yeah, the Lord put this man in power. So if he said that he's going to take out all registers and cashiers, the Lord gave him that power to do that. And really, this is the Most High microchip. Okay, the Most High is having this man create this. Everything Esau's created, the Lord's given him the mind or the spirit to create it for his purpose, for prophecy's sake. So this MOTB belongs to the Most High. He set it up, and it was written up way before time. And this is going to happen so that his story could play out. Prophecy could be fulfilled.
The deceive and the deceiver are his.
That's right.
So the Lord's controlling on both ends, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But at the end of the day, it's going to fulfill what the Lord has set up, man.
Yeah, he's the ultimate
According to
director.
Yep.
The director, whoever, the director of this movie, he created the protagonist and the antagonist.
Right.
To what? To do a job. We gotta get this movie made. And in this life that we're living right now, this is all the Lord's movie.
Right.
It's all playing out according to his script.
And the Lord loves drama, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to have some type of hype to the movie,
Right. It ain't gonna be no boring movie.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be a boring
It
movie.
ain't gonna be no boring movie. Lord ain't making no boring movies, and this movie
look at
is
that.
far
It's
from
good.
boring. Yeah, this movie is far from boring, man.
Yeah.
And we about to come to the climax of it.
Right.
You see?
That was it on that. You got to do it,
Okay, this is Job chapter 21 beginning.
Hold that real quick. Let's play some more of this.
Okay.
And then they just look at you and they go, well, just go get a phone then. Go get a phone. Go get a mark of the beast eventually inside of your body if you're going to want to buy and sell. They're giving you the option. You might as well take it. You want to be able to buy or sell at Sam's, then you got to have a phone and eventually the mark. And if you don't want to buy or sell at Sam's, well, then you're going to have to figure out a way to survive off-grid. And it's going to be hard for you to farm and do these things on your own because, of course, we know the government is using geoengineering to block out the sun and forcing people to use Monsanto dirt and everything else we know that they're doing to make it as difficult as possible for people to fend for themselves. So the choice will be yours. Eternity in damnation, seeking death and not being able to find it, or coming out of the beast system. So let me play for you this clip about the Sam's. Listen to the sheeple there who talk about, hey, some people out there aren't going to be able to buy anymore at the store, right? They don't seem to care too much about how the government is forcing people out of being able to buy or sell unless they move forward with their technology, which again, eventually will be brain-computer interface inside your body. Here's a look at what's happening at Sam's.
I'm Tony Jaramillo, your neighborhood news reporter on the South Side. Long lines. Some of us have experienced them here at Sam's Club. Now the multi-billion-dollar company is set to attempt to streamline the process of checking out. But is everyone on board? Very soon, checkout lines will be a thing of the past at Sam's Clubs all across the country. The stores, including the one in Corpus Christi, will only welcome scan and go, which the company says brings along...
It's crazy too, because they even, really buy anything at Sam's Club, you have to have a membership card.
Yeah.
You gotta pay for a card for, I paid $20 for a year, but you got to pay for a card to even go in that store and shop. You know, without a card, you know, they used to check you at the door. So can I see your Sam's Club card? And if you don't have the Sam's Club, you can't even go in. You know, but you damn sure cannot buy nothing without that card. Even if you want to go to the gas station and buy gas, because the gas is cheaper. See the convenience?
Yeah.
I actually just bought gas from Sam's Club the other day. The gas is cheaper though. They make the gas like 10 cents cheaper. So you have the incentives to go over there and get it. But even to get it, you got to have your Sam's Club card. You can have a membership and forget your card at home, and you cannot get gas.
And
you know?
That's crazy you said that too, because recently there was an update that because I got one. And it showed you that you can have your Sam's card digital now.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there you go. And that's probably this right here. There you go. Scan, pay, and go. You're going to be able to just scan, pay, and go. That's the whole thing, man. You know, so and eventually your Sam's Club card is going to be your inside your MOTB, your microchip, your implantable microchip. It's going to be inside of you. You know, so when you go in there, you're going to scan your hand. They're going to show you that. You're going to just scan your hand and walk in. You know, but if you don't have it, you're not going to be able to walk in Sam's Club. That's going to be the last of your days shopping at Sam's Club. You know how many people love shopping at Sam's Club? Some people just go there to eat the food. You know, that processed garbage they sell, you know, the hot dogs and pizza and stuff. People just go there to eat that, you know?
Term vision to redefine the club model and set a new standard in retail.
Personally, I think people will be out of business, out of jobs, but I use Scan and Go as it is anyways. Cash has become obsolete anyways.
Walmart, which
You hear that guy, man? He can't even talk straight.
That's a zombie.
That guy had to be a Jake, man. Some people gonna lose their jobs. I use Scan and Go anyways. They might have set him up, you know. He couldn't even talk right. But one thing was he said was people gonna be out of a job. So just grab that real quick.
Yep.
But that the grinding shall cease, man, because that's another thing. You know, there's so many components to this. It's like a domino effect. You knock one domino down, it knocks out all these other dominoes. And you got to really that's why the scripture says you have to meditate upon this. If you just find out that this is the MOTB, the day of they tell you to get the MOTB, you gonna end up taking it. Okay? But if you've been meditating and you know, brainstorming about this, you've been, studying this for all this time, it's gonna be like, okay, I know what that is. I know everything about that.
Exactly. That's why the scripture says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our time. All right, because you're gonna have the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding to know what is going on. Everyone else is gonna be confused though. Everyone else is gonna be trying to figure out what's going on. But you're gonna know.
Right.
All right, you're gonna know how to deal with it. All right.
Yeah, I mean, when people are confused, they act, unusual.
Yeah, you bug out.
You know, when they don't know where their next meal is coming from, or they don't know something, people freak out. They lose it.
They panic. They panic. And a lot of people are about to panic because they not going to know what's going on.
And it's even worse because people here in America, they're not used to panicking. You got DoorDash. You can stay in your house and,
Shop from home.
shop from home. You ain't used to panicking. It ain't really been people ain't really been in no real situations.
They see panic in the movies.
Right.
They don't really,
Right. That's just something they see on TV. But then when it comes upon them, they're gonna freak out and they're gonna end up taking this.
Right.
We're gonna see it, man. Your family, not just people that you see on the TV. Your family is gonna take it.
And hey,
If not all your family, gonna take it.
Right. And another thing that makes these people not panic, because they're prideful as hell. America has given them the spirit upon them that they can be prideful as hell. They have rights. They have laws. They all these things. So they believe that they can just do as they please. But soon, all that shit gonna stop, man. You gotta.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few.
The grinders cease because they are few. When you go into grind, that goes into employment, working. The workers. The job. It's already job shutting down. You got, went into it earlier. All these major stores are shutting down. Thousands of stores shutting down all over the country, man. Okay. If these tariff wars go any longer, people and the damage is really already done. But if it goes any longer, like the way it's going, he's talking now he's backsliding. He's, trying to make him trying to crack a deal. But if they more stores are going to shut down, you know, it's gonna be bad.
Hey,
So people, when not only you don't have a place to shop, but now you don't have a place to work. You know,
hey, you
say
said
Shalom Yahawashi
Shalom,
Shai
Yahawashi,
Barakatah.
Barakatah.
I just bought 800. Okay, brother, all praises. Call it Yahawashi Yahawashi. That's beautiful. Now, when you use that garment when you pray, and you know,
When you teach.
when you begin to teach, I don't know if the brother teaching yet. He probably just got a garment. But when you start to teach, and you know, and make sure that you study first. Make sure you get the proper doctrine. Learn from the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down. You know.
That's right.
But pray. You know, when you got that garment, pray. You know, every night and every morning, put that garment on, pray. You know, and ask the Lord to sup with you, to deal with you more. You know, and the Lord, he'll, because we in a time where the Lord is waking brothers up quick. You know, putting brothers on game quick. Brothers learning quick. And anybody who's not learning quick, Scripture says you shall be quick of understanding. Okay? Yeah, predictive programming, exactly. Scripture says be quick of understanding, so you got to be able to get it quick, you know? Time we coming into things is going to speed up. You know, and everybody got to be on point. So even with these, like your brother's going into, the grinding shall cease. You know, these stores are going to shut down. It's going to be over with.
Hey, you got AI taking over people's jobs now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're replacing these people, man. Oh, that's what they talking about in here too, in this video. They're gonna start taking away the cashier jobs, and they gonna replace it with AI. So AI, you got AI Samantha, AI.
Yeah. And you know that, and we all know how that already taken a massive, like, shot to the, because remember you used to go in the store and it was all only cashiers.
Yeah.
You had to go talk to somebody. You had to smile. Hey, how you doing? You know, let them do your groceries. You had to go talk to a physical person. Now you have self-checkouts.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially at Walmart.
Oh, yeah. It's like they might have 2 cashiers and the rest is all self-checkouts.
Yeah.
You know? Even at Publix, too. They got, you know, so
Yep.
they're incorporating it where everything is going to be AI, and they won't need you anymore. You know? They don't need you anymore. Everything's going to be, and that's how you know Esau's going to come down with that wrath as well. Because for the simple fact, he don't need you anymore.
Right.
That was it on that?
Now it continues on. It says, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened.
You're right. The grinders cease because there are few. The workers cease because there are few. You know how you at your job and somebody get fired or quit, now there's more work on you. But you're getting the same pay. So even a few workers that's left, they going to cease. So it's going to be complete shutdown, you know, of this system. Go ahead.
It says, and the doors shall be short in the streets.
The door shall be shut in the streets. All right, so you're going to try to go into these stores. Hey, I just passed by on the way here. Spiritual, bro. On the way here, I was passing by, and, you know, next to the Amscot, there was like a little clinic there, you know? And, you know, I just happened to pass by, and I seen that the doors were gone, and all you seen was like the shadow or the dirt from where the words used to be. And then the side, you know, the doors was locked up, you know, it was all chained up and stuff, but you seen, like, it's because it's glass doors. You seen, you know, bags of trash and stuff, you know, in there. So the doors were shut. And that's the thing. These doors are shutting, man. You ain't gonna be able to walk into these places anymore as you used to, you know?
Hey, when you had the C-19 situation, hey, many doors were shut if you didn't have the mask on.
Right.
If you didn't have no type of way to access, people was denying you from coming in if you didn't, you know, have a proper way of getting in. You know, it was, hey, you know, your ass out the door. People couldn't enter in gyms.
Yeah, it was certain places where people was getting beat up.
Yeah.
Security was beating people up.
your
People in the
ass out.
store, where's your mask? And so you got people are so mentally gone, and they're being, they're pretty much just hosts for these elites to rule their minds, and that when this thing come out, they're gonna push it.
Yeah, because these people.
You need it. People was telling you to get it when they came to the You gotta take it. You're all gonna die. If you don't take it, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
If you took it, you should be good. Don't worry about me taking it. If you took it, you should be good. You should be. They told you that this is gonna save your life. You good.
Yeah, you know how you watch a movie, a zombie movie, and before everything started to spread out, people they start freaking out and shit. Where's you guys over here is the reason why, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Hey, you seen that movie, not the movie with the show Walking Dead, everybody started tweaking out at each other and shit. Hey, these people look at it like that when it comes to just something that much of a minuscule problem. How much more for something even greater? You see? and just put on a mask or just not cooperating.
This
you
place
know.
already divided already. as it
Exactly.
is.
They're gonna start to trip out,
It's already
man.
tension built up in here. So
Yeah, tension's gonna grow. You know, these people are on the edge. All these American people are on the edge, man.
you know what's crazy? I was thinking about it, because it says, the ground shall cease and there's gonna be a few left. Even with that, bro, they start paying AI in these, these places. They're probably gonna start treating the few employees that they have a lot worse.
Right.
They're
Shut
probably
them
gonna,
up, brother. Yeah,
lower
shut
their
them
pay
up.
and everything. And I was like, you're not even really you getting less hours.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
now you're just
yeah.
like, okay, I might as well just quit.
Now they don't care about firing you.
But or here in Florida, they don't give a damn. They'll fire you for anything.
Yeah, they give you one day to work, and it's like 4 hours that day. And how you gonna be able to provide for your family? Now people are just gonna be like, no, bro, I can't do it.
And Esau, he ain't
And that's
stressing.
already happening now. Even at my job, they used to have overtime. Now people ain't getting no overtime. They freaking out. He said, man, I can't. Somebody just told me today, bro. I kid you not, today, one of my coworkers, and he's like, one of the higher up guys. He said, man, I gotta get another job, man. I'm like, wow, what's going on? He said, I'm thinking he about to leave. He said, I can't live off of 40 hours. So he better get a second job on top of the job he got with the 40 hours. And this was the guy that was talking about always leave. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna find a, no, you getting stuck where you at, man. That's what they're doing. They're pretty much trapping you. They're putting you in a place where they got total control over you.
Putting
You
you
know?
on the hamster.
Yeah, they putting you on a hamster wheel. But was it on that?
Oh no, it goes on and says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the dogs of music shall be brought low.
All the dog units should be brought low. Yeah, because it ain't gonna be a fun time anymore. It's gonna be chaos. What else? What else is on there? It says, yeah, go ahead.
It says also when they shall be afraid of that which is high.
No, that's it. Not grab it in the NLT.
Come.
Good shot, because it's only a matter of time now, man. At this point, it's only a matter of time left before this system completely goes down, and they're gonna come in with a new beast system and then start really wilding out.
Yep.
Right, because they just setting up things and they just getting things in motion. They just putting things in motion. They setting things up.
And you got Donald Trump in there. He already telling you he gonna start deporting goddamn citizens. And then when they talking about and people are talking about it, we got to get up and riot. We got to protest. That's what they're looking for.
Oh yeah, that's what they waiting on.
They
They waiting for that. They gonna go out there and you seen what happened in where was that at? Recently, they had a protest up there in one of them countries. I forgot where it was, but the police had unleashed a sonic weapon on them.
Oh yeah.
A sonic weapon. They was all on the street protesting. I guess they wanted them out of the street, so they put that sonic weapon right in the street. Every single person that was in that street got the fuck out of the street. Okay, every single person. It wasn't like one person, two people stayed. No, they said it felt like your body was on fire.
Your
Damn.
body just moved.
They said it was using some type of magic on you. All you heard was this sound, this high pitched noise, and people simultaneously just start running out of the street, both ways. Whenever they was close, they just started running. It's like something clicked in their mind. You know how your body goes in that fight or flight. So who knows what they can do with that stuff. They can make you stop right now in your tracks. You holding your head, and they go over there and handcuff you. Or they just come out with the street sweepers.
Damn.
They gonna just open up those guns on you.
And Jake think they can fight against that, bro.
Right.
For real.
That's the crazy part. Jake trying to pick up. Let's get the guns. We fight fire with fire.
Yeah,
They got a bigger fire.
Right. They said that damn sonic weapon was like they used magic on them. And Esau is a sorcerer.
Yeah.
He's a Chaldean. He done figured out how to make your body heat up with no fire. They said felt like their body was on fire. So this devil, when he moves, he gonna move rough. He gonna move, no joke. Okay?
He can't wait to do it.
That's right. That's it on that?
No, you want me to get an NLT, right?
Yeah, NLT, go ahead.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 3. In the NLT it says, remember him before your legs, the guards of your house start to tremble.
Mm-hmm.
And before your shoulders, the strong man stoop. Remember him before your teeth and your few remaining servants stop grinding.
Right, and they recently you heard from the economists, the people that deals with the, the economy and stuff, and you got the stock market and all that good stuff. Well, they're speaking now, and they're saying how it's not looking good. Okay, it's looking very bleak. You look out the windows, it's very dark. Because what? There's going to be a dark future. Trump can't. I haven't heard what Trump said about it. I heard in a few videos, brothers was going into it, how Trump just came out and said how this whole tariff thing is going to, American citizens are going to suffer for at least 2 years. Mm-hmm. He said people are going to go unfed. This man just cut all type of assistance, those benefits for like, the Meals on Wheels. They cutting food stamps, obviously. They're cutting all that stuff. Section 8. So people are going to be literally homeless and starving. And he said that, the first, 2 years or something of this whole thing after these tariffs, he came out and said America's going to suffer. Man. And they've been saying that. But it's going to get better. It's going to get better. No, it's not going to get better. You're just going to suffer.
You know what's crazy? Because let that be something if that be the case, let that be something that these devils use as a great opportunity to cause another, what they'll see it as, a pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man. He said it could possibly be 2 years or something like that. That's just giving Esau enough more time to usher in that next agenda.
Right.
And if they move quickly, because he's been talking about.
Well, that's the part of them. They're taking away your leverage. People, if you have money, then you better off than somebody who don't have money in that time. But if they take away any type of money, that's why they're getting rid of the middle class.
And the prices here have been going up.
Yeah.
It's
either the very rich or the very poor.
Yeah.
It's the have-nots and the have-yachts.
That's the
okay. If you don't have a yacht, you're one of the have-nots. And that's why the best thing we can have is YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. The Lord gonna make sure we eat.
Yep.
Or the Lord gonna, you grab that. Go ahead.
Continues on. It says, the woman looking through the windows see dimly. Remember him before the door to life's opportunities is closed.
Right. Remember the Lord before the door to life's opportunities is closed. And I'm seeing that already. There's certain places I would go to grab food from, they're closed, and I wish they never closed. That was an opportunity, that I would like to have, but it's shutting down. Or these jobs. You got a particular job that you could have worked at and got made some income. Now that job is shutting down. Don't lose your job right now, because if you lose it, there ain't no jobs out there. Okay? You got all these people that are getting fired, so they're applying for all type of jobs, even if they ain't qualified. They're applying for any job. Okay? But that's an opportunity that's shutting down. Bring that part back.
It says, remember him before remember him before the door to life's opportunities is closed. Mm-hmm. And the sound of work fades.
And the sound of work fades. You go into these jobs, like my job in particular, and y'all know, because when I go on my break and do a video, I might walk back in there, and all you hear is noise, clinking, clacking, beeps, machinery. That's what work sounds like. But I kid you not, and it happened today. I don't know if you noticed, the lights kind of flickered a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's flickering all over the place.
Yeah, the lights be flickering because it's gonna be a day. The lights gonna shut off, and they're not gonna come back on. Mm-hmm. But anytime when you in that place, because it happened a few times when you brother go to work at the same job. It happened a few times where when the lights go out, all those machines stop.
Oh yeah.
All that noise, the sound, all that stops. So when lights go out, I remember one time the lights went out. You have blackouts and stuff. Lights went out for like 20 minutes, and we were just sitting there. Couldn't do nothing. The work stopped. It was no work. You couldn't do no work. You couldn't do no work at all. There was no light. You couldn't even see in there. It was like a warehouse. You couldn't even see in there, man. So when you gotta really, and that's why we spend so much time trying to put this emphasis on it, so you can really vision it. The prophets are seers. They're able to envision this. You got to be able to see it. Imagine one day you at your job and the lights flicker 2-3 times, and the last time they just don't come back on. What's gonna happen? They sending you home. Ain't no more work today.
Yeah.
You still got bills you gotta pay. That's how this thing is gonna play out. You got businesses shutting down like that already. Jake going to a job one day, next day they don't got a job. Oh, the plant shut down, man. And you got a family to feed. You know? Just go ahead.
It says, remember him before the door to life's opportunities is closed and the sound of work fades. Now you rise at the first chirping of the birds,
Mm-hmm.
but then all their sounds will grow faint.
Right. Yeah. It's going, and you know how now people get up early. They enthusiastic. I gotta get up. People ain't gonna be hustling. Like, you know how you got to wake up in the morning. You got that morning traffic. There ain't gonna be no more of that. 'Cause you ain't got nowhere to go, and you ain't got no gas to get there, and no money to get no gas. Okay, gas gonna be $20 a gallon. Streets gonna be empty.
Damn.
Streets gonna be empty, man. Okay, so the Lord is shutting this place down through the Spirit, and we give all praises, honor, and glory. Okay, let's play some more of this. And
On board. Very soon, checkout lines will be a thing of the past at Sam's Clubs all across the country. The stores, including the one in Corpus Christi, will only welcome Scan and Go, which the company says brings a long-term vision to redefine the club model and set a new standard in retail.
Personally, I think people be out of jobs.
Duh.
But I use Scan and Go as it is anyways. Cash has become obsolete anyways.
Walmart, which owns Sam's, says the new
Cash is becoming obsolete anyways. He had to be reading from a script. He wasn't a good reader. But he said cash is becoming obsolete anyways. And they push these people on these news broadcastings to shape your mind. To make you say, yeah, cash is becoming obsolete. Why don't we all go cashless? Okay?
new policy will follow the pioneer store of the concept in Grapevine, Texas. I asked these shoppers how they think this would affect those not as tech savvy.
Probably the biggest concern really is because older people, they're not really up to date on modern technology.
It will be better to have a mix. I mean, the checkout and also the self-checkout application.
The change would also mean no more receipt checkers, meaning AI will identify the products.
It does this largely through.
I guess they already put this in motion, man.
Checkout application.
The change would also mean no more.
Look at this.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
And you know what's crazy too? Because they saying how you don't got to get your receipt checked now. There's going to be no receipts, no none of that. It's all going to be digital. So like now you go to Sam's Club and you walk out and look at the gas. $2.42. So the gas is cheaper. But now you go to Sam's Club and when you walk out, they got to check your they got to look at your receipt. Very rarely do they just let you go. And that's an inconvenience because now you got to wait. People it's going to make it sound real good and sweet. But it says shop fast, exit faster. Shop fast, exit faster. All about convenience. Yeah, you just take this and you can shop fast and exit faster. Hurry up and buy. And a lot of people, this is going to be, a temptation unto them. It's going to be a temptation for all of us to a certain degree. But these people, they're going to really, really, be tempted by this. And to the point where they end up taking it.
Receipt checkers, meaning AI will identify the products.
It does this largely through image classification. A banana looks like a banana, a Coke can looks like a Coke can, and it'll look for that, and it'll observe it, and it'll recognize it, and it'll charge you for that.
Business analytics professor Dr. Nikki Changchit says she imagines this will not necessarily create job loss, but create an opportunity for employees to help customers until they get the hang of it.
So I think it is very important to educate and train the employees.
And it's crazy because some of these jobs that is required, like delivery jobs, they have the same setup, man.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the delivery job, it depends on what it is, and they have it where the same setup system where you go and you scan it, and then it tells you, or you scan the barcode, it tells you the item, and then you go up there and you pay for it and everything. But it seemed like how they just showed it. It's just the same system being recycled, man.
Or same thing too is like it's when they got it now where you can shop at home, where you just go on the website. You just go on the website. You pick what you want on the website. I've done it before a few times. You pick what you want on the website, and then, once you pick what you want on the website, all you gotta do is pull up to a particular spot in the in the store, and they come out with your groceries.
Now they got drones.
Walmart does that.
And now they got drones.
Now they got drones to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Walmart, they'll do that though. So it's pretty much is now like you just doing your own shopping online, and then you walk in there, you know, and so they're eliminating the cashiers. And then now, like I said earlier in the lesson, they have these AI cameras they're going to push out now. I'm hearing about these AI cameras where basically they're going to watch it's going to scan everything. You know, when you pick up something, you look at something, you put it down, it's going to see all that. And it's going to already, you know, have calculated what you getting or how much it's going to cost as you put it in your pocket.
And you know, it's crazy because a form of fashion of that, leading to what the brother's saying, is when you go do self-checkout, let's say you swipe something, right? And you swiped a little too fast, it already caught.
And
like
the camera didn't catch it, yeah. And the light come on.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
This nigga's stealing.
So they already have it where they showing you that, you know.
It's gradualism, bro.
Yeah, the way they have this conditioned already, is, like the brother said, it's gradualism to what they actually want to accomplish.
That's right. And it's spiritual because with, you know, us even going into this lesson, it's becoming more, the vision is getting clearer and clearer, you know, at least to us.
Yeah.
You know, Lord willing to you as well, but at least to us, the vision is getting clearer and clearer. We're seeing it. We're seeing how it's going to play. We see what they're doing. And that's why the scripture says we are not ignorant to Satan's devices.
That's right. That's right.
You know, so you can have this damn, you know, Moab lady on the TV talking a bunch of hoopla, but we know what y'all doing. You making it sound so convenient, so cool, you know, like the best thing in the world, but it's wickedness.
Yeah.
You take that, and that's sin. You will not be delivered by Yahawah Shemel if you take that. Somebody grab that too. The judgment for taking this MOTB.
Okay, come on.
so that they can also help the customer adapting to these technologies.
Experts say this technology could continue to spread across retail as stores embrace AI and automation. I reached out to Sam's Club to see when this change would take effect, but did not immediately hear back. On the South Side, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tony Jaramillo, Chris 6 News.
So that should horrify people. Big box warehouse shopping just got a little more dystopian according to some of these articles that are out there. Sam's Club is rolling out a sweeping redesign of all 600 of its U.S. stores. And here's the big headline.
All stores.
Cashiers and receipt checkers, they're being completely phased out. In their place will be a frictionless AI-powered retail utopia where you scan your own stuff, pay on your phone, and stroll right out like you own the place. The idea is to expand the chain's scan and go system, which they've had for a while. And remember, they ease you into this stuff. Sam's has had scan and go for almost a decade at certain locations. You can see it on their website. They're proud of it, right? But when they had scan and go, they said, hey, don't worry about it. It's just an option to make it easier for you. We still accept checks. We still accept cash. And then they transition you and phase you into it and force you into it because more and more people would see lines that were really long at the Sam's Clubs, like most stores, right? Because they hire incompetent people who can't even count cash if you pay them.
So basically now you won't have you won't have a choice. You're gonna have to go with this system. You know, that's what he's getting into. Like pretty much at first they had it where it was an option, now it's not an option anymore. And that's how this thing is gonna become mandatory. All right.
Hey, and he said that
I personally believe.
he said that they hire people who can't do the job. So you have people who are taking those cash or the checks, all right, and most likely they're moving entirely slow. Okay, you might go to a Sam's Club or a grocery store, wherever, Whole Foods, and you have this old 60-year-old lady who's moving slow with counting your cash, scanning your product. Then you have it over here where you have self-checkout, and it's free as it can be. So they know what they're doing when they do these things, man, because you've noticed over time, over the last 5 to 10 years, it's getting more and more people at these cash registers, you know, a lot slower and older. You know, you wondering like, hey, man, you just scanned my shit like 3 times. Oh, I'm sorry. And then they got to do the whole process all over again. Yeah. But that is conditioning. Like, that is a smart thing to do because Esau, this is a slick devil.
And one time I was at a store and then it started raining outside, storming. And people was at the cash registers. They was at the self-checkouts and all the cash registers. And then the lights went out. And all the systems went down. When all the systems went down, all of a sudden, you know, you couldn't, you know, they had to, you had to scan all over again, pretty much. So, you know, that shows you how, first of all, how fruitile this man's system is, but also why he's going to make it seem like this is the only way. This is them, you know, perfecting their system, basically. You know, and it starts with you getting an implant.
It is tying in to the mark of the beast. Remember, this scan and go process will force you to use your phone, which will mean that you
better go off right there. And this is a good video to go watch it. You know, you want to go watch it. It's a good video to watch. We're just gonna scan through it real quick. And I want to play this other clip right here he had of the Amazon Go. And you're just gonna see how it's the same thing, but at the end of the day, it's leading you up to something. And look at the top right or the top left. You know, with the CERN symbol, 666. It's just all this beast system, okay?
walk in and out of stores freely.
Discover a smoother way to shop with the Amazon Dash Card. Say hello to the Amazon Dash Card and take the stress out of shopping. Skip the checkout and keep rolling with the Dash Card. Scan, weigh, load, and bag items right at the cart. With store maps, you can easily find where items are throughout the store. Watching your budget? No problem. Track your spending with a live receipt on screen. When you're done shopping, you really are done. No lines, no rebagging. Simply a smoother way to shop.
Wow.
4 years ago, we started to wonder, what would shopping look like if you could walk into a store, grab what you want, and just go?
Wow.
What if we could weave the most advanced machine learning, computer vision, and AI into the very fabric of a store, so you never have to wait in line? No lines, no checkouts, no registers. Welcome to Amazon Go. Use the Amazon Go app to enter. Then put away your phone and start shopping. It's really that simple.
Now you see how she just walked in and scanned that barcode, scanned that code, and then they said, and then put away your phone. Well, they're gonna put away the phone altogether. They're gonna just put the damn barcode inside your hand.
Hey, and if I may add, these motherfuckers slick, man.
Yeah, they got everybody smiling and stuff.
Yeah, this is a great marketing, what you see right here.
Right.
This is marketing at its best. Okay, you see, they'll put millions and millions of dollars into something like this just to have you consumed by it. This is what this was gonna do when it comes to advertising those miracles, man.
Hey, and that's spiritual. You say that too, because look at the screen, bro. Look at that Edomite dude.
Mm-hmm.
He got black eyes.
His eyes look black. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you catch it, I just happened to stop it right there, and he just happened to look demonic as hell. Because anybody who's down with this beast system, you are demonic as hell. You are bugged out. You are a demon. You know, and through the spirit had it where that manifested on him right now on the screen. You could look at it. You know, look at him. He looked demonic. That's a demonic image right there. You know, that just happened to get caught, and she's smiling. You know, but the brother was just going into it, and it's heavy that he made that point because you're right. Hey, hold up. How is it that this is actually, you know, making it seem like it's all peaches and cream, it's all good, but the whole time it's demonic. The Lord is not with that. All right?
Got you all memorized by it, man.
Mesmerized.
Mesmerized the water. You know? The water.
You
Got you all like, thinking that this is something good.
And it do sound sweet.
It do sound sweet.
You know, that's the temptation, bro.
Exactly.
Grab that. Temptation. You grab it. You hold on to that.
God.
That's the temptation, man. Because it's gonna be tempted. They're gonna tempt the hell out of you. Gonna be this all that's gonna be on the billboard.
Yeah. AI billboard.
Yeah, you want to eat? You starving?
Yeah.
What did the guy from the guy from New York when the pandemic? He had the burger. He said,
Oh yeah, the guy.
and it comes with a burger.
Yeah.
And you know what he blowed me the most at? He said, and there's a fry element to this. Just the way he said that. They was feeding it to you, man. They was telling you, hey, you want, and that's what they gonna do. You want to eat? You want to go? You want to smile again?
Wow.
But you see in the beginning of the video, you seen the dude just pick up the burrito and just walk
Walked out.
Yeah.
Literally, he didn't have to go scan anything. He didn't have to, he just walked out, bro, and he already paid for it.
He said,
And
do you want to smile again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to be happy again? It's the music.
Yeah.
This makes life
bro.
worth living.
Right.
Yeah, and then they got the whole
That's the
guy in the
temptation.
background
Somebody who got it?
advertising.
You got it? Bring it out.
I'm bringing the NLT or
Bring it, KGB, then grab the NLT.
Revelations 3:10. It says because.
Go ahead.
It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation.
Right, because we kept this word, you know, and you know, being in this truth, you know, this is work, okay? There's a suffering that comes with this, man. We're suffering for YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, okay? We have forsaken much and great to serve YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, okay? And because of that, the Lord said he would keep us from the hour of temptation. Okay, we had to sacrifice our lives. Really, we are just living sacrifices anyways.
Right.
But we sacrifice our lives for YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. So when this time does come, when everybody else is getting attempted with it and they're losing their minds, bugging out, they can't, you know, they got that urge, they can't kick. Lord gonna have you clean of that.
Right, he gonna remember your works.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna remember your love you showed towards his name.
He gonna keep that demon off of you.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna try to jump on you here and there a little bit. And we're gonna keep it off you. But these other people that they gonna just they gonna have that impulse and they say no, they're gonna be in line.
They gonna, oh yeah.
How did I get it? They're gonna black out because the Lord got it set up for them to do it.
Exactly.
If the Lord set it up for you to take it, you're gonna take it, man. You know, go ahead.
It says, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth.
Mm-hmm. All the world. So in all these countries, they're all pushing the same thing. You know, digital systems. Right now, all these countries are using the American dollar. American dollar is the world reserve currency. So when this dollar crashes, oh man, we have no currency now. We need new currency. So it's all gonna go digital. Okay, and then it's gonna be an implant.
It says, in
And the whole world gonna be tried.
Mm-hmm. The whole world, majority of the world is going to take this MOTB before the Lord comes back. But just like the majority of the world took that damn yab, right?
Damn.
It ain't far fetched. You can't. All the people in the world. That's a lot of people. Well, think about how quick people took that yab, man. Billions.
Yeah, and they did it quick too.
Yeah.
They
And they forgot about it.
Yeah, right when it came out, people was already lining up.
Like a regular, you know, back in. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you remember that show. What's the show? Utopia.
Yeah.
You watch that show Utopia. I gotta watch that show again.
I think
But
I
that
thought
show
they had
came
toned it
out.
down.
I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while, but that show, it showed you how, you know, when that time comes, people gonna be, where's my vaccine? Where people gonna be out there, you know, fighting for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good word, Maxine.
And when that did happen, you know, that show came out right around that time because that was them telling you what they was doing. And
Right.
in that show, it came out how those ones in the show were sterilizing people. You know? Go ahead.
It says in the NLT, because you have obeyed my command to persevere,
Mm-hmm.
I will protect you from the great time of testing
Right.
that will come upon the whole world to test those who belong to this world.
Right. You have obeyed the command, you will persevere. Okay? You gonna be the one to be able to move forward and, you know, duck and dodge this temptation. But everybody else, they gonna end up taking it, man. They gonna take it.
And to be specific, all right, going into the back the brothers up, because you're gonna be wondering what is that is it talking about? All right, where it says in that Revelations 13, verse 16, getting the point. It says, and he calls all, both small, great, rich, and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this devil's gonna be looking forward to tag you, man. Okay, with that seat hip, man. So you know, if you ain't got your YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, all right, most of these people gonna be through, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, but this is the time that's leading up to. I got the judgment for it.
Go ahead. Let's close out with that.
Yeah, this is the judgment for it. The Revelations 14:9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image,
Mm-hmm.
and receive his mark
If anybody received that mark, go ahead.
in his forehead
Mhm.
or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of YAHAWASHI,
Right.
which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation.
That's right. You're gonna drink that wrath. Okay, of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which is gonna be poured out without without mix. It should be poured. Yeah, poured out without mixture. Which that goes into those thermonuclear missiles. You gonna eat a whole nuke. Okay, you're gonna drop a nuke right on your dome top. Okay, it's gonna be, and you ain't gonna get no mercy. Okay. So that's the judgment for taking it. That's why we're telling you not to take it, and we pray, Lord, keep it in our spirit not to take it, because that whoever take it, you're through.
Right.
When those missiles come over here, and they are coming over here, you're going to be in them. Okay, if you take the MOTB. All right. So pray, repent, stay in the spirit. Okay, and pray the Lord, have mercy upon you. Let's play some more of this real quick.
Use the Amazon Go app to enter. Then put away your phone and start shopping. It's really that simple.
Demon.
Take whatever you like. Anything you pick up is automatically added to your virtual cart. If you change your mind about that cupcake, just put it back. Our technology will update your virtual cart automatically. So, how does it work? We use computer vision, deep learning algorithms, and sensor fusion, much like you'd find in self-driving cars. We call it Just Walk Out technology.
Just walk out technology.
Once you've got everything you want, you can just go. When you leave, our Just Walk Out technology adds up your virtual cart and charges your Amazon account. Your receipt is sent straight to the app, and you can keep going. Amazon Go. No lines, no checkout. No, seriously.
So that's the frightening reality.
There you go, man. And then this whole video is good. Besides that one part where he said the beast was in the internet. But you can go watch it. Very much as we'll play. Yeah, we'll close out with that, man.
All right, finishing it up.
Phone to make purchases.
Finishing it up, it says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels in the presence of the Lamb.
You're gonna be tormented, man. So when them nukes hit you, you're gonna be tormented. So though they making it sound all good and they got the music, ding, people smiling and stuff. They don't tell you this part. Right. Not telling you this part. That's why we're here to tell you this part. We're here to give you the warning of this part right here. You're gonna eat a nuke if you take the MOTB.
Hey, same way they didn't tell you the bad part of the side effects.
Yeah, the side effects.
That Jabberwocky, man.
Right.
It was like, just get it. It's good for you. It's good for you. Safe and effective.
And you got people that really got messed up by that thing.
Yep.
And then when they try to talk to somebody or get help or compensation, who?
Position
What?
of no value.
What? No. You was in the middle of a parking lot, a field. We don't know you. It left you out there.
Bro.
It just left you out there. So when you take this and you start, like that movie Implanted. She took it and started bugging out, hearing shit, and
Started glitching and shit.
they told her, "Hey, what? We don't know you. Get out of here. You ain't gonna have no help." So this is the time we're coming into. We just want to touch on this real quick. And though they still talking about the phones, the app, all that, like we said, all that is just gradualism to go into. Eventually, they want to put it inside your body. All right, but it's all. Roads are leading to the MOTB. That's why they said Sam's Club is going Black Mirror. And I did a live walk and talk the other day telling you to go watch that show Black Mirror. That show Black Mirror, they telling you. They letting you know what they plan on doing. They letting you know all the things that this technology can do. Okay? So it's all through the spirit of YAHWASHI, y'all shot at. These things are coming out so we can give you these heads up, these warnings. Hey, stay prayed up, stay in the spirit of YAHWASHI, y'all shy. We almost out of here. With that being said, I want to say call halal. Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. And through YAHWASHI, the spirit through this lesson, prayer has been edifying to those for elect. Shalom.
Shalom.